Jake Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know.
And made a post and basically told Roach. He tagged Lamar Roach and he said, "Look, you're not getting that fight with Tank."
A day in Gervonta Davis's life while preparing for Jake Paul is full of focus and hard work. Every training session is about improving his sharpness, power, and speed. From fitness drills to sparring, he stays disciplined and focused on his goals. Each workout shows his strong determination to be ready for the big challenge, without letting anything distract him. Rolly Romero gives a fair view on the fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He says Tank's legacy is already secure no matter what happens. Davis is a world champion with many big achievements, so he doesn't need to prove anything against Jake Paul. Still, Romero admits that Jake's bigger size is a real factor and gives him a physical advantage. But this does not take away from the respect and success Tank has already earned.
Paul might be too big for him, but like Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, or as an exhibition, we don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying he should have took a fight with Lamar Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know? It's bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or all that stuff, right?
Paulie Malignaggi points out the key difference between size and experience. Jake Paul may be popular and physically strong, but Malignaggi says boxing experience is more important than power. Gervonta Davis has fought on the biggest stages, headlined major events, and faced top-level opponents. No matter how big Jake is, he can't match Tank's years of training, ring knowledge, and ability to adapt. Malignaggi believes that in boxing, skill and experience usually matter more than size.
I think Davis is more to lose because he's the bona fide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. Yeah. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks
the answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah, but if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion, multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Aldrey, the champ, even you, Jimmy, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy, if he hits you clean. So we know the risk, but how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing, and I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned mine?
Teofimo Lopez sees the fight more as entertainment than a serious sporting event. For him, it's not about legacy or rankings, but about money and showmanship. He points out that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis will earn huge amounts from it, which is important to note. Even though it's not like a world title fight, Lopez believes it's still good for boxing because it attracts mainstream attention, brings in new fans, and helps the sport grow.
Really invested on it, and I'm actually very happy for Gervonta and Jake.
I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way, you know?
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
You got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this gonna work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And, you know, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction, a show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics against a lightweight, it's quite a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
A competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs just to duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, you know. But I think for that competition, that fight, it reminds me a lot like The Big Show, and Floyd Mayweather when they fought in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And will that end the same way?
Possibly. Maybe some brass knuckles in there too.
Can you see Jake Paul knocking out Gervonta Davis?
It's boxing, man. And if it's a show like this, anything goes, anything happens.
Nate Diaz, known for speaking his mind, completely dismisses the fight. He believes it has no real competitive value. According to him, no matter who wins, it won't add anything important to either fighter's career. Diaz sees it as pure entertainment, more like pro wrestling or a staged show. His view cuts through the hype, calling the fight a sideshow rather than a true sporting contest.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think.
He's just too small.
It just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that's. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually.
You think
I'm
it's a
not
good
hating
fight?
on the fight, but I think. My thoughts on it is let's watch it, see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. Do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
Right.
it's like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight actually.
Jeff Mayweather, just like Nate Diaz, isn't buying into the hype. He says this matchup feels strange and even questions why it's happening in the first place. I mean, why would a proven world champion like Tank Davis be fighting a YouTuber-turned-boxer like Jake Paul? Sure, there's money involved, but to Mayweather, the whole thing just feels odd and unnecessary. And honestly, a lot of old-school boxing fans agree, it's more confusing than exciting.
It's kind of weird, because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank is going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
KSI, who knows the influencer boxing game better than most, calls out Jake Paul's tactics. He says all that talk about Jake fighting Anthony Joshua? Yeah, that was never real, it was just hype to fool the fans. According to KSI, this fight with Tank Davis is the same play, another move to create buzz, not to chase real heavyweight competition. His take shows just how theatrical, and sometimes manipulative, modern boxing promotions have become.
I knew AJ and Jake was never going to happen.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought it was actually going to happen? Well, it's so crazy. Like, I feel like so many people just believe everything online.
But that's pretty unbelievable on the other hand.
I feel like I know, well, okay, how do I say it like this? Itoma versus White. I had a lot of people bet on White winning. And I'm there like, you guys don't watch boxing, do you? You just look at a record and go, Dylan's fought many more people than Itoma. That record says a lot. Itoma's like 18, not 18, Itoma's 20. inexperienced, one. Like I just knew Itoma was gonna just destroy him, and I think a good fight for Itoma would be him and Wilder. I think that'd be a very good fight.
BJ Flores, Jake Paul's own trainer, is way more positive about this matchup. He says Jake's real future is at cruiserweight and heavyweight, where his natural size belongs. But here's the thing, fighting Tank Davis is a big opportunity. By stepping in the ring with a world champion, Jake boosts his profile to another level. And that could open the door for even bigger fights in the higher divisions. According to Flores, this Tank fight is just a stepping stone in Jake's boxing journey.
That's a funny story. So one of my good friends, Armani, he has been working with Jake Paul for the last 2 years. Oh. There was a little time where Shane wasn't there with Jake, and Armani called me up and said, "Hey BJ, will you come down to Big Bear and spar with Jake?" And I'm like, "You want me to spar with Jake?" I'm thinking to myself, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, he's beating up all his sparring partners. We come, I was like, all right. I mean, fine, I'll go down there and do it. I have been inactive. I haven't done anything for like 8 months. But I was like, okay, I'll go down there. So we spar a couple times. After that, they decided I was too big for him. And, it's better if we just, not do it. And, then they asked me if I would be interested in like working the mitts with him and helping him with the combinations, because I was hitting him with some combinations they hadn't seen before. And I said we can teach him all those things and have him doing all those things. And so I started working the mitts with him and helping him out on the mitts. And he told his trainers and everybody, they're like, "Man, I want BJ around for the entire camp because I'm getting better." My job is like Shane does the advice in the corner and I do the mitts.
Respected boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies isn't holding back. He calls this fight a straight-up circus. In his eyes, it's all about spectacle, not substance. Sure, the event will grab attention from the public, but Davies says it damages boxing's credibility as a serious sport. The weight difference, the mismatch, it takes away fair competition and turns it into a money show. He warns that if boxing keeps going down this road, the sport's integrity could take a permanent hit, with hardcore fans walking away. But here's the twist, even Davies admits that controversy sells. And like it or not, this fight has people talking worldwide.
And I think we've gone out of the frying pan and into the fire, because we thought we were going to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua very soon. We'll speak to Frank Smith about that in the next section, obviously. Eddie Hearn was teasing it to me personally last week. £80 million on the table for Anthony Joshua to fight Jake Paul. But 8 inches in height difference, 7 weight divisions between them, 5 stone, 70 pounds between them. It's a joke. It's a circus fight, as opposed to a disgrace of a fight, which was Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. At least you feel in this, you've got quite a poor, very big one against a pound-for-pound, brilliant, unbeaten little un. And the little un who'll come up to his navel will hit him with a lot of body shots. I said in the week to Danny Kelly and Charlie Brooker that, do I mean Charlie Brooker? No, Baker. Charlie Baker. That Charlie Brooker's a different person altogether. That he'll be throwing the Superman punch, the leaping left hook. It's going to be a very odd thing. It's called, in inverted commas, an exhibition bout. But everybody in boxing who is a name doesn't mind going in with Jake Paul because they know they're making millions of dollars. And that's the only reason that Gervonta Davis, who's being called the poison little elf by Jake Paul, and it'll be fun in the build-up. Everybody in boxing knows they're guaranteed to make millions of those silverbacks, those greenback notes that they give out in America, and they give them out for fun when Jake Paul fights. So he's not going to say no to it. But can you pick a winner in that fight?
I don't want to.
Vargas Jr. sees this fight in a totally different way. He's all about the surprise factor. He admits nobody really expected this matchup, and that's exactly why it's so exciting. Fans love the unexpected, and Vargas Jr. says this fight delivers that shock value big time. Good or bad, the unpredictability makes people talk, and that alone keeps the buzz alive.